Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Evil Dragon XXL, and welcome to AOR. The stream might look snazzy. It's not me doing it. Welcome everyone to my streamer. The last one I had racing now, so I had to get one. Say hello everyone to my good old buddy, a new streaming partner. Say hello to Jess.
Good evening everybody, welcome to the Project Cars 2 GT3 Leagues for Season 15. This is the PS4, something that I'm not used to at the moment. I did a bit of Endurance League commentary, I think about a few months ago, but this is my first full-time position on the PS4 Project Cars, and I'm looking forward to it. It's been a break actually since I've last done GT3 commentary, so should be a very good season. We've got a lot of competitive drivers on the grid. It should be a lot of fun, Evil.
Yeah, we have new teams, new circuits, new everything, new graphics. Everything's snazzy. I hope you're all enjoying the new graphics, by the way, like I will be. We have 10 whole rounds, but we'll take you through that later on. We have 16 drivers that one hasn't joined yet, so we're still waiting for them. And literally everything is going to be perfect this season. Next race is my birthday as well, so look out for that one.
Yeah, so wish happy birthday in the chat next week, obviously, and hopefully, Evil, your our experience will be good together for next week. But enough about next week. Let's take you through what's happening for the Season 15 season. So we've got 10 rounds, and as you can see, the format is quite different to how you're used to. We've got the normal races, our races as usual, starting with what we've got this week, which is the Barcelona-Catalunya GP. So it's a qualifying session, and it's an hour-long race. And the second round next week, which is Ruin de Lizard, I think I've said that wrong. It's going to be quali as usual, but there's going to be a sprint race, and then there's going to be a main race. So if you watched the Clio Cup or the Radicals League or any filler leagues in AOR before, then those races are kind of run like that. So it's a new thing we're experimenting in the GT3, so hopefully it goes well for them there. And Rapuna GP on the 30th, well, on the 8th of April, is going to be the first of our 90-minute endurance races, where it'll be reverse grid. 15th of April, Hockenheim, a normal race. 22nd of April, Donington Park in the UK, it is going to be a normal race again. And the 29th, Nürburgring, we haven't been there in a while, it's quite good. That's going to be the sprint race and the feature race, like I said, for round 2. On the 6th of May, we got the Azure Circuit, which is a 24-hour progression, and it starts in the night time. And it is in Monaco, in Monte Carlo, so that should be interesting. On the 30th of May, we've got Zhuhai in China, and again, that's a 24-hour progression, and that is another one of our 90-minute endurance races. The 20th of May, we've got Dubai, also Drone GP. And finally, for the final round, is another 24-hour progression race. It is Indianapolis, and it's the road version, not the oval version. So, should be an exciting one. So, we are now going to get introduced to our drivers. So, our very own Mr. Evil Dragon XSL has produced, along with the help of myself and Ethan, a very little video about who is taking part in AOR this season.
Boyraxer, the defending champion, joined Season 13 champion Gaza in the Mercedes-AMG Project Cars team livery. The pair are looking for more podiums and wins, along with another championship to their name, with Boyraxer taking his only 2 victories in AOR this season, and Gaza with an impressive 6. Championship contenders Tinus joins renowned AOR driver Jazzman for a second consecutive season. In the very competitive Lamborghini Huracan, Jazzman is looking to add to his 6 victories he packed up over his career. Tinus with his 5 podiums, but still looking to claim that elusive victory. Scoldnessa Racing team up for the first time and have decided to drive the Ginetta G55 for the season 15. Lewis, with 2 wins in his AOR career, is looking to forget last season's disappointment and add to the win/podium charts. And Essa is looking to follow in his teammates' footsteps. Despite being 8 years old, the Ginetta has proven its pace to being able to lap well into the 144s at Catalunya. Vector returns for another season in GT3, this time by himself. Sporing the beautiful Ferrari 488 GT3, Vector has managed to collect 2 podiums, is looking for consistency, finish inside the top 10 and add to a few more podiums to his list. Foggy makes his Tier 1 debut this season in the Mercedes AMG GT3. With over 350 race starts in AOR, he is the definition of a veteran driver. He'll be looking to perform well and picking up good points for this season. The only esports team in the series, Viscera Racing, enters its 5th consecutive season. With a Project Cars lineup, VSR Rotary returns after taking a season off, joining 2-time race winner VSR McWolfman in the Mercedes AMG GT3. VSR Rotary, despite taking 8 podiums in his AOR GT3 season, has never won something. He is looking to rectify this season with more equipment and relentless testing. VSR is setting its eye on the Drivers and Constructors Championship. Delfino makes his Tier 1 debut after taking 4 straight podiums and a win in Tier 2 last season. Teaming with Leonardo, who was also promoted up to Tier 1, Leo will be driving the Lamborghini Huracan in the very fluorescent yellow liveries. They look to take their Tier 1 by surprise this season. Big Kid Daddy looks to be by himself this season, as he fields a Lamborghini Huracan in the Team Barwell Motorsport colours. He looks to add podiums and looks to be a good result to his tally, whilst consistently proving his worth in Tier 1. Jasko gets a full season seat after only taking part in 1 race last season. Jasko is already proving he is a force to be reckoned with 2 AOR wins in the evaluation races ahead of last season. We are yet to see what Jasko can do at Catalunya, but he is certainly one to be watching of. Papano returns for another season, has changed the manufacturer from Audi to the Lamborghini. With a very renowned Grassa Racing livery, Papano has collected 3 podiums and is certainly going to be challenging to add to that and even maybe pick up his first AOR win. Andy C makes his Tier 1 debut in the funky 118 Huracan with 0 podiums and wins, and hasn't released any information regarding his pace. He's a real dark horse and could be the one to topple the more experienced drivers.
Before we get to the qualifying session, we have got a hot lap for you, which is commentated and driven by our very own Jazzman.
Yo everybody, this is Jazzman speaking. I'm here to take you around a lap of Barcelona in my GT3 car for the season, which is the Lamborghini. And here we go, we're onto the main straight, going up the gears, we get into 6th, and we'll try to spot our braking point for turn 1, which is about 110 meters for me. And see, I take 2nd gear, keep a nice tight apex, try to get a good exit, following through turn 2 and turn 3 with a tiny lift off, and yeah, then just get on the power as little as possible. And then we're heading into turn 4, which is my favourite corner on the track. Nice spot your braking point down to 2nd gear, try to keep a tight apex, which I didn't really do there, but as we continue up to 3rd, up to 4th, get down into 2nd gear for turn 5, keep a tight apex again, get on the power as early as possible as we head down the hill up to 4th gear. And for this one, you can go for it in 3rd or 2nd, I prefer 2nd. Again, just focusing more on my exit, and up the gears, third gear for this one as well. Could potentially take it in fourth. It's really just driver dependable. Now we're onto the back straight. Heading into the heaviest braking zone, second heaviest braking zone, and get down to first gear as quick as possible. Hug the apex. Get as wide out as possible. Take as much curb, just not that much curb, otherwise your car lifts up. Keep a tight apex again, early on the power. Set down the second gear. Don't take it like that as I missed it. Anyways, another final section. Just try to get a good exit, which I haven't done. Full power through the last corner and onto the main straight to finish your lap. Yep, that is Jazzman speaking. See you guys on the track.
Well, welcome everyone to Circuit of Barcelona-Catalunya, and welcome to the man who's so far on provisional pole position because we're 3 minutes into the session, and that man is Mr. Papano92. He's so far driving the beautiful green livery team, and so I'm immediately going to forget all the team names, even though I literally made an intro to them a few minutes ago. I've already forgotten them. So this is going to be fun for me to try and figure out later on, but so far you can see there is Jazzman driving the most annoying name in history because it's very Italian, and it roughly translates to Racing Team of the Raging Bulls.
Oh.
That is what it translates to from Italian. And I expect those drivers, they should be the ones who are going to be trying to get pole position today. Jazzman won the race last night, a little practice race. So he's already been set and hopes to be going for it later on. Skolder's got in the session again. He disconnected whilst we were doing that. And we have now got all 16 drivers because Gaza had not got in yet as well. But everyone is ready and sitting down comfortably. And so far, it is Jasko on pole position so far at 1:42.9. He is over half a second quicker than Jazzman, his nearest rival. But Pardo, little 3 tenths back. Quite a few cars coming out of the pit lane. There you can see both shed teams, because we've got one shed and another shed team. That's Gold going across the white line there to get past one of the other drivers. I think that might be the car of Andy there, who's also now going to go back around the outside of Skuld, and isn't really going to be doing qualifying. Skuld, who's been struggling all week long with no rear end in that car. He's got no grip in it at all, no comfortable there, but he's driving the oldest car by quite a while, I might say. 8-year-old car, that is, as well, the Ginetta G55. And a car that is oftenly going to be very quick around circuits that are very narrow and small. So the likes of Monaco and Rowan next week are going to be incredibly important for them. But up front, we've got Tinus in front of Jazzman right now. We're just seeing there one of the VSR drivers ahead. That is of not Wolf, that is of Ethan. And the issue is sometimes they both begin with VSR and there's only 3 letters. So these could be fun for me to try and figure out between them. But we'll wait until, as one car loses the rear. And that, again, that will be Tinus having trouble. And he had trouble again last night in the practice. But with Ethan and Wolf going to be so far so good this season, what do you think they can do in the VSR camp, Jess?
Well, they're hungry to, obviously, as you said in the team's intro, about winning the drivers and the constructors. I mean, I've seen them practice week in and week out. Obviously, I'm in their team chat because I'm in VSR as well, representing them as a commentator. And these guys want to take it seriously. I mean, these guys haven't got... Wolf has got a few wins. We all remember Wolf's win last season, which you missed, Evil, I believe, as Ethan was commentating solo. And that was a very good win, I must say. But Ethan's only won in the special events. He has not won in any other league. So he's got a point to prove. But there are a few rivals standing in its way, as we're currently still on board with Boy Raxa. He won the championship last time about, and he's looking to take another title to his name, because this could be the last GT3 season in a while, so these guys have got to get the most of it. And he's 39 thousandths quicker than his previous best, and that puts him in P4 for now. Jazzman's still on pole, looking to set the benchmark at the moment, 142, so quicker than what I've seen, but race pace, Evil, I would expect people to go into the 144s, 145s, I reckon.
Yeah, we're expecting around about 43s to mid 45s throughout this field. We're looking down the rest of the field. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers still set lapped on that. Fogarty, Andy, Gaza and Skuld. So yes, lap times, but they will do in the next couple of minutes. I'd say Vector's doing an okay job so far in the Scuderia FF course livery. He is putting himself in P10, the only Ferrari in the grid, the only Ferrari in this tier as well, of course. And we'll be seeing what that driver can do. He's been promoted up to tier 1. He was in tier 2 for a little bit. Had a bit of a scare because he might have been demoted down, but then one other driver was deemed they were not up to being in tier 1. They didn't think they were fast enough, so they've gone back down, and they saw Vector, who was sitting there, got 2 podiums last time out, even though it might have been 1, but there's 1 in our little thing that says 2, so it's 2. But it might be 1. Who knows? It's one or the other, but our timings might be wrong there. But he is back in tier 1, where he definitely should be. And he's hoping to make a mark in a car he hasn't driven. The last time he drove was the Acura, or the Honda, and of course the Audi B4 Lat. Hopefully, the Ferrari will run well. Of course, Coco, who raced last season, did very well. And next quarter, a very big surprise, as Vectro immediately proves that car is difficult by spinning exactly when I said he was going to improve us really well. So, moving on upwards, we've got Papano in P2 so far, and that is an incredible job for Papano. He's really been a surprise. The green line racing machine, I might always add, it's always cool to me. So far, 4 times off the pace, but he is very quick. He's quicker than Jazzman, he's quicker than Titus, but Jasco absolutely flying right now, and I don't think he's coming out for a while, because I think he's very happy about lap time, Jazz.
Yeah, I think he's happy with his lap as well. I mean, you want to get that confidence early on in the session, and even if you are on pole position, you've got to try and get possibly a few more laps in, because otherwise there could be people that are in the garages of trying to find out, right, how could I find a few more temps just to improve on that pole time, as we're seeing the guy we're on board with improved on just that at the moment, as he's down in... He hasn't set a representative lap time. He's down in 15th at the moment. So, and obviously the new guy's in 16th. So, but every season it's different. I mean, each track, a different car is suited to a particular track. One car might be faster than the other. So they got to learn to adapt with the conditions as well. As one season the Lambo might be faster, one season the Merc might be faster. So it's interesting, we've got quite a few variety. I've seen a lot more Mercs than anything this season, and a few Lambos as well, and it's good to get a mixture, and we'll see which car is the fastest as we progress through the season. So yeah.
Yeah, well, of course, Carl Fogarty, of course, not one of the way. I can't exactly remember his actual name, but it's C. Fogarty, as we know him now, the most experienced driver in AOR in this tier. 350 Grand Prix start to his name, or just over it, but it is around 350, give or take. The most experienced driver by far. His nearest driver, I think, in terms of races, must be Jazzman. He's nearly on his 100th. He's on 94 right now. I'm not exactly sure who the next driver might be. I think it might be Big Kid Daddy. He's quite up there as well. He's quite an experienced old horse as well. Talking about horses, he's driving the Lamborghini, which is, of course, a bull. Not a horse, but talking about horses, there's a stallion there, and it's the famous Ferrari team. Well, nicely catched by that one, but then again, Jess, it's always good to see these experienced drivers coming back through the field, and we'll be seeing what they can do as well. As it's always a difficult situation, especially for Fogarty. It's his first season in Tier 1 for quite some time as well. He's very up there, of course, in the Endurance League. He hasn't done it for quite a while, but he's often one of the quicker drivers in endurance racing, and taking that into the likes of GT racing. Let's see what he can do this season.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously we've got a few new drivers into this tier, like we've spoken about earlier, such as Andy, for example. He's yet to set a lap time, and Andy, I mean, he's done really well to get into the top tier. He was looking good in practice as well, but for him, it's a fresh start for him. He's with the big boys now, who are the most experienced. I'm guessing the first few races is going to be a bit of a learning curve for him. So is Duff as well, who's also new to this tier, who got moved up into Tier 1, and I mean, if I was promoted to a higher tier, I would definitely just be just improving on my driving style a little bit more, seeing what the other guys are doing, and then as soon as you get a feel for the car a little bit more, as soon as you get a feel for the drivers and improve on your race car a bit, that is where you really start to push. But we've seen in a few seasons, the likes of Jazzman, for example, as Big Kid Daddy's in the wall and he's in the pits. But we've seen in a few seasons the likes of Jazzman, who only joined quite recently. He he joined quite quickly and actually got used to it quite quickly. So it does depend on the driver, of course, and we'll just have to wait and see. But the likes of people who've been here for a while, they've got a point to prove, and I'll just have to wait and see, Evil.
Yeah, meanwhile, we've got Ethan and Wolf. They're so far down in 6th and 11th. That's going to be a little bit disappointing for the Visceral team. They were not expecting that, and Wolf, very poor qualifying so far. I'm not sure if he's struggling with something. They can see the rear end very loose right now. And this was what happened last night as well. It seems, I'm not sure if it might be the same today, but the lobby might just be a little bit weird because they used to drivers. They just don't seem to have any pace whatsoever. 43.8 for Wolf right there. That is not what he was doing in practice earlier on. He was setting down in the 42s as well, about very low 43s, give or take. And right now, he seems to be very much struggling almost. And you can see, look at the rear end there, no grip at all in that Ferrari, in that Mercedes, might I say. Look at the Ferrari Vectro so far, 13th, only under a 10th off of Wolf. Wolf of 43.99, well, 8.99. Vectro of 43.947, so very close between those two drivers. But we're seeing just that potential issue again, where the lobby just seemingly, for whatever reason, to be different to what these drivers are practicing. And I'm not sure what that is, of course, but unfortunately, stuff can happen, of course. Different track temperatures, different track conditions. It all plays factor into these types of racing, and for some, they can adjust to it. But for others, like Wolf, it looks to be all but certainly over in Ethan, especially P6 as well.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like that with other racing games as well. It's not going to be the same conditions every lobby you go to, and you just got to learn to adapt like that. And the checker flag has fallen. Raxa, is going to be one of the first people to cross the line in the loving his livery that he has chosen. Their name known for Gaza and Raza Racing, both of them racing this season. He comes across the line now. Can he improve? No, he does not. He stays in 4th place. I'm seeing who else. There's, I think, 3 people that's on the track. One of them is Jazzman, and we've got Leonardo as well. So let's see what he could do in his yellow-powered car. I'm just seeing if he improves quite a bit. Not a drastic improvement, but still quite a bit. So we're just waiting on Jazzman now. He could be the one that challenges the guys up the top. Papano in 2nd, which is great to see. Tinnis in 3rd. Tinnis was the runner-up last season. Jazzman in 3rd, but I know Jazzman would really want to improve because he had a lot of wins last season, but there was a few issues he's had in a few races which costed him the win. So we're on board with him now. He's going to come across the line. Can he snatch pole from the pole sitter right now? He's going to cross the line now. I couldn't tell if it was. I don't think so. 4th, yeah.
I think that's 4th, yeah. So, no, 3rd, my apologies. So Jasco VR takes a surprising pole position in his first real outing in qualification. Then, ahead of Papano, Jazzman in 3rd, Tinnis in 4th. Raxa, the defending champion, in 5th. Rotary in 6th position there, ahead of Stoll in 7th. Big Kid Daddy in 8th. Leonardo in 9th. Gaza, a shocking P10 there for him. Did not seem to hook the car up whatsoever. Wolf as well, down in 11th position. He will not be happy with that one. I imagine he's going to be very frustrated as well. Vector, an okay 12th position there for him, ahead of Andy in 13th. Esser in 14th. Fogarty in 15th. And Duffy down there in 16th position.
Yep, as we've got all the drivers now lining up for their grid slots. So for those of you that are new to AOR, because I know a few people might have tuned in for the first time, they've got about a few minutes just to get their setups going and just to see if they are good enough for the race. Because obviously you can have a different quality setup and a different race setup if you want to. So if you don't like what you run in qualifying, you can change for the race. And obviously they have to change their fuel so it could last pretty much for most of it. They will have to make a few pit stops. And obviously, as soon as the lights go out, they will wait 5 seconds, and then the AOR rolling start will happen. It's not controlled by the game. It will be up to our pole sitter, Jasco, to control that. And they'll be going around about 80 miles per hour for a bit, and then they'll get to the formation point where they'll go in a 2x2 formation. And then they'll get to the acceleration point and they'll be up to the leader to floor it, and that will signify the start of the race lap 2. So 35 laps and 34 racing laps, obviously includes a formation lap. And I think all these drivers have raced in AOR before, so hopefully no problems with the rolling start. So we just got to concentrate on who we think will do well in this race, Evil.
Yeah, we're expecting of course we are expecting some strategy, because it is of course mandatory pit stops. You have to stop at least once. We shouldn't be seeing anyone change tyres. We should only be seeing them adding very little amount of fuel, however. So we'll see what they can do. So strategy-wise, it's going to be, do you go long and try and do the overcut, or do you go short, get some fresh air earlier on, and then try and do the undercut? So whatever way it's going to work, it can be very interesting, especially around a circle like this. Spain, of course, short burst, built in 1991, first hosted its first Grand Prix, and that was, of course, in Formula 1. It was based around the Olympics back then. Of course, get ready for that formation. That, hopefully, everyone has read the rules and there is no moving at the back. No, wait, 3, 2, 1, and away they go then. One by one, like Noah's Ark, onto the boat, and away they go then, onto their formation. And it's going to be interesting to see, like, Jasko, his first real pole position, as far as I know, ahead of Apano, a shocking P2 for him, a surprise to me, and then ahead of both of the Raging Bull teams, then, of both Tinus and Jazzman, in the reverse order of what I said. Boy Raxa, of course, driving the car that ESR the Schmidt was driving a few seasons ago as well, proving that that car and that team has definitely won the last 4 championships in a row. So, that Mercedes looking to make it 5. But the question is, like, can it do it? Behind them, we've got VSR Rotary, and hopefully everything goes well for him. He's got his long-time rival and former teammate Skull 1808 behind him as well. Behind them, we have Big Kid Danny and Leonardo then, down in 9th position. Gazza, as I always used to call him Gazman last season, because Gazza and Jazz are right, down there at 10th, he'll be hoping to make a lot of positions in this race. He's just ahead of Wolf, who's also likely to make a massive jump through the field as well, because of disappointing qualifying for him. Vector in 12th, the best he could do so far, of course, in his situation as well, ahead of Andy. Good qualifying for him. He is ahead of Essa Racing, Fogarty in 15th, and Duffy, the new drivers as well, in 16th position. So Essa, the highest, the lowest driver, who is the most experienced, and he is behind the new drivers of Andy. That is good to see, Jazz.
That is good to see that Andy is doing well out of the newcomers to the tier 1 league. I mean, he's 13th for the moment, but we're setting low expectations for him. But for the likes of Gather and obviously Boy Raxa, we expect high expectations from them as they are about to start. Now they're going through the windy turn 11 and 12 now. We are about to start the race. We've got a big gap actually, yeah. So they need to catch up soon. So they need to go into the 2x2 formation, and I'll let you take the start, Evil.
Well, whatever's happening, they're taking a long time though, so hopefully they'll get in. They should just slot in now. That's very late for them there, so that's not really what they're going to be doing, but they'll get into it at least. So, AOR, Season 15. And we're already underway then, because Jasko, I think, has rather jumped that start a little bit early. That looked a bit too early to me there, because he's jumped miles ahead. Already, he's got a big gap ahead there. Down the straight they go. Look at them down there, wiggling one way and the other. Lamborghini, lots of Lamborghinis. Then we've got a bit of a battle in the midfield there. We've got Ethan by Raxa, all battling together as well. Ethan there just ahead of the last season's champion. But Ethan there can't do it. Boy Raxa up the inside. Skull there looking as well. But a good start from everyone. No contact, it seems, down the back, however, as well. So everyone clean away at the start of this race as Boy Raxa gets up to 5th position, ahead of Ethan in 6th. Skull now looking in 7th. He's got that fast starting Lamborghini behind him as well. But crucially though, Jess, everyone already clean off the start of this race.
Well, I can't actually believe it, to be honest. It's the first race and they're all doing amazing. But don't forget, they had to go through evaluation races. So if they're not clean, they shouldn't really be in this tier. So they must have read the rules, because they're all driving extremely well so far. Not major position changes right now. Obviously VSR Rotary almost got the move on Boy Raxa there, but couldn't quite do it. But meanwhile, Wolfman is right on the back of his next challenger, of Gaza. I had to look twice to see which VSR it was, and it was in 10th place, so that's all good. He couldn't quite get the move done into turn 10. He's got Vetro behind him though, who's doing quite well. As all we got to move at the back, we've got Andy and Fogarty. As Fogarty shows that he's the most experienced driver. Yep, he's the most experienced driver out of the lot, and that's what helped him into 12th place right now, which is not a bad start from him. I do expect him to do better. Vetro's gained a few positions. I think he started in 12th, now he's 11th place. So he's trying to make his way up the field. He's getting close to the car in front, and we've got someone already in the pits, Evil. So either they want to get their stops done quickly, or they might have had damage somehow. Tough to find out.
Indeed. Meanwhile, guys are having a look around the outside of big Cadaddy, that. Big Cadaddy, I'm now calling him, but I couldn't do it. That compromised Gazelle. He wanted to turn it, but couldn't. Now that's allowed Wolf to come through. Tinnis already got a penalty. Meanwhile, down the back, up front as well. We'll have a look at that later on. But yeah, like I said, Leonardo in the pit, and I'm wondering, was that for damage potentially there? We didn't see any incidents down the back, but Wolf still in 10th position. We've got that Ferrari just sitting up behind him as well. Now these two last night had a bit of a coming together in the practice race. Let's hope we don't have a repeat of that. But already we're seeing these top drivers like the likes of Jasmine Potter and Jasmine. They already got that little bit of a second gap. As Wolf really struggling. It looks like that car, the setup does not look perfect. And Scold in 7th as well. He's got an incredible start, but looks to me like Wolf is wanting to get a move on that car. And you can see behind him, Vector getting a little bit impatient as well. And I think looking to the inside, won't do it now on the inside, so I'm trying to turn 10. They all just have to sit back and wait for a little while longer. And Gaza, let's see if he's comfortable through this corner, because he looked very loose. Again, looked very loose in the rear end. I thought someone went wide there. I think that was a trick of the eye, because everyone's still on circuit. Up front, though, 4 tenths of gap between those top two. It's Papano behind Jasko so far. Jazzman in 3rd. Tinnis in 4th with, of course, a 1 second time penalty. Boy, Raxer in 5th. Ahead of VSR Rotary in 6th. We've got one car in the pit lane. We've got 2 cars. That's Wolf and Skull in the pit lane then. So they bailed out of their strategy. They want to get earlier and go for it as well. Meanwhile, we've got Duffino having a look up the inside, potentially of Andy. Won't do it there at the inside turn number 1. A little bit too far back for that one. And the driver's already doing their strategies. And Jazzman also now with a 1 second time penalty. And looks to me, though, that Ethan's already catching up to these guys as well. He looks like he's got a good pace at this early stage of the race. And he's right now behind last season's champion as well.
Yep, I'm sure Ethan is liking the pressure of fighting against the champion from last season. Again, he's had a few podiums, not able to secure the win, unfortunately. But I'm sure he wants to add more to his stats this season. And he's looking quite good behind him at the moment. He could get them towards these next couple of corners, in particularly towards turn 9 and 10 as well. And also we've got Tinnis as well, fighting up in front of Boy Raxer as well. And we just can see this massive train evil all the way from, I think, 2nd all the way down to 6th. So you know, they're all fighting close together. Even the leader's quite close as well, Jasko. So it just goes to show that obviously the coordinators have done something right. They've put everybody in the right tier, that they're so close to the pace, and that's what I like to see, Evil.
Yeah, Ethan, you can see, I was just weaving left and right there. He's just trying to get heat in those tyres, because right now it's very cold on the circuit, to be fair. Compared to other things, it's literally in that bubble between that soft and hard compound. All these drivers will be running the hards. However, it's just cold enough that the soft, if you run the soft, it'd be too hot. If you run the hard, it's just okay enough. I did practice last night, and I can tell you it can be very difficult as well. Now, once those Lamborghinis as well, through turn 1, they can get very leery on those rear ends, of course. The difference of engine, the V10, if I'm not mistaken, in the Lamborghini compared to the V8 muscle in the Mercedes, if I'm not very much mistaken. And right now you can just see everyone getting stuck behind each other, but the top guys, we've got Papano, who's doing an okay job right now, running away with the gap, ahead of Jazzman in 3rd, Tinnis in 4th, Boy Raxer and Ethan. Then a big gap down to Big Kid Daddy right now, running in 7th, ahead of Gaza, who's kind of, for whatever reason, is struggling preposterously in his Mercedes right now. He has not really been stuck this far down. I think he got everything last season. He was on a podium every single race. And right now down in 8th, Vector in 9th. Fogarty now up to 10th position there. ahead of Duffino in 11th, Andy in 12th, Esther in 13th, Scold, Wolf and Len Leonardo down there 14th, 15th, 16th, but they have all stopped and made their mandatory stop already.
Yep, indeed. A few people wanted to get it in early, of course, but a few people might want to stick to the end. I have a feeling the leaders might try and do it because I've seen, obviously, in Xbox One, a few people have done that to take advantage, but some of them it worked quite well and some of them it haven't. And a few people I've seen have found the bumps towards the final corner a little bit more tricky, as Evil could probably agree because he was racing in a practice session last night, that it can be quite tricky as well. Even 1/10 quicker than his previous best, so he is improving lap after lap after lap at the moment. Looking promising signs for him. Turn number 1 then. He's getting good cornering speed at the moment, so I'm guessing his setup is really benefiting him on the corners. But you can see Boy Raxa, he might have more of a speed on the straights compared to Ethan, but you know, it has more of an aerodynamic sense. You got to get the balance just right. But you know, so far number 9 car doing very well indeed. Essa Racing could have been a better race for him right now. He is down in 14th, I believe, as he goes into the pit lane, as he's taking his stop, I believe, both of fuel and tyres. He wants to get his stop out of the way as well. You can pit anytime you want, as long as it's after the first official lap of the race, and as long as you pit before the end of the penultimate lap, that will still count. So it's not like, oh, you can pit, you know, the tyres can go on for as long as they can, and so could the fuel as well. It just because we brought in that mandatory stop, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Let's see if Rotary's even closer to Boy Raxa, just a little bit. Still the same gap as it was before. It'll be interesting to see how he gains it in the final sector when we cross the start-finish line very soon, Evil.
Yeah, it seems rather like they're all just kind of following each other right now. The dirty hour, of course, in these cars. It's difficult to close up. It's even more difficult to pass. Even that'll be a penalty there. He'll get a time penalty for that one because he went a little bit wide. So he should, I think, able to take that penalty on the chin there, because everyone else has getting penalties ahead of him. Then we've got Tinners, Jazzman, Rapano and Scold all with penalties. We'll have a little look. 2-1-1 and Scold with a 3-second penalty. Now, last night Scold got a 32-second penalty total, of course, because he was struggling for whatever reason. He managed to get a huge penalty for something. The word Scold said was bull, and another word I'm not allowed to say, but you could probably imagine what it was. Meanwhile, Jasko is leading this race by 1.1 seconds from Papano on lap 7 ahead of Jazzman. So far, 2 seconds back. He's doing okay so far. Mr. Consistency, Mr. Definite Consistency right now, because he's oftenly going to be trying to get these podium finishes. He wants to get the championship this season. I spoke to him earlier. He said next season, because we have confirmation there should be a next season, he will be going in the Mercedes, and he will be bringing former AOR GT3 driver the Kaiser back with him for yet another season with him. Tinner's down there in 4th position. He'll be hoping to do some fantastic work ahead of Boy Raxa in 5th, and then VSR Rotary in 6th.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jazzman, like we saw last season, he stayed in 3rd due to the fact that he was getting a lot of podiums. I thought for a second that he only got 1 win, but Evil told me that he got more wins than that, so, you know. But it's consistent, just goes to show that he was still in that championship hunt for quite a bit, actually. There was 4 people last season, I remember, because I was watching it as well, that were in the championship fight. I wonder how many we'll get this season. Potentially 5 or 6 people, I think, are in the hunt as well. I'm not seeing many overtakes at the moment, Evil, so I imagine that this track must be so hard to overtake at this early stage, maybe due to the tyre temperature, or maybe due to the fact that obviously it's hard to follow other cars around this track. And we've got Fogarty in 11th place right now. He's in the pits as well, making his mandatory stop. And he's gone for a decent time at the moment, but we'll see how it goes for the rest of this race.
Now, from what I was doing last night, I saw that we're expecting Bicky Day to pit around about lap 20. Quite a lot of these drivers should be pitting around that as well. What you can see with Jasko, he's got clean air and clean circuit in front of him. As long as he doesn't throw it off the road, he should be okay. Of course, he did that in endurance at Chiquito, of course, whilst being up front, and it did not end well for a few other drivers behind him. We got very scared when they saw a very spinny car right in front of them. Behind him, you can just see there is on board with Pano. You can just see that Lamborghini ahead of him, whilst the other Lamborghini is behind him. But a Lamborghini 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. And then a bit of a gap starting to form between the Mercedes there of Byraxa, and then down to Ethan, and then a big gap down to the likes of Gaza. Then we've got, of course, Adam Bikidai, and then a big gap then backwards, 4 seconds, down to Vector, who's then even got a bigger gap of almost 4 seconds again to Dafiti, who's then got a huge gap to the likes of Andy, Skull, Wolf, and everyone else. Wolf right now, his lap time's 1:44.7. Not lap competitive. He's slower right now than Scold. The quickest driver on the circuit right now is Papano, 1:44.0. He is going a little bit over a second quicker than Byraxa in 5th. So these Lamborghinis right now just have got incredible pace up there.
Yeah, I'm not really that surprised actually. I was commentating on a season around here in the Xbox One, and I did see that a lot of people did choose a Lambo that season due to the fact that most tracks were quite fast, and Catalunya was one of them. So definitely the right move for quite a lot of people to choose a Lambo. But they may be good this week, but a few weeks time or next week they might find it a bit more tricky to get used to the Lambo in other tracks. But for now, they seem to be up in the pace a little bit. But the two Mercs are doing well. We've got Rotary and Byraxa. They're still keeping up together. Obviously Ethan is still right on the back of him. He's not letting Byraxa get the best of him at the moment, which is great to see. Just goes to show that he's getting used to his setup. His teammate is not, so I'm guessing it may be down to the driving style more than the setup, really. I think Ethan's looking quite comfortable there in his Merc-powered car with his blue power liveries, as it were. He's a little bit down on his previous best. There's a bit of a slide from Byraxa. Oh, that's going to help Ethan a little bit, gain a bit of time. And I think this is a chance for Ethan to catch up for a bit. But he decided to play it safe for now. He doesn't want to cause any incident. So he's just going to wait until the perfect opportunity to overtake for him, I think. Because otherwise there will be way too many problems like we saw last season. A few people going, but there's way too many risks. In particular in the Clio Cup in Monza, we did see quite a few incidents due to the fact a lot of people taking more risks, but looks like Ethan is playing it safe, but for the right reasons.
Yeah, meanwhile, 4 attempts the gap between the top 2 drivers. There you got Jasko and Papano. Papano yet to score a victory this season, if I'm not mistaken.
You mean in AOR?
Yep, in AOR. He's got a few podiums, of course, but yet to take that elusive victory. Jasko, of course, won in quite a few little evaluation races. A very quick little driver indeed. Entered 1 or 2 races last season as a surprise entrance, and really right now it's his chance to shine. And can we see the first real showing of Lamborghini this season? Remember, of course, the next couple of races are likely to be Merc-type circuits. We've got Road at Sartre, it has got humongous straight to the back of the circuit and tight twisty sections at the first. A real racers track, you might say. Narrow, twisty, tight and scary. It's an old school circuit because, of course, it's one of the historic circuits. One of 5 or 6 historic circuits on this game. The likes of historic Spa, Monza, Hockenheim ring, which we horse raced last season, which is my top pick for the best race of the season. Fogarty in the pit lane, and I'm wondering, is that for damage? Let's go on board. It does look to me like the front end a little bit damaged there on Fogarty's car. So
yeah,
whatever has happened to him, it's not gone well at all right now. But like we said, not a lot of action going on the circuit, Jess, and that is going to be a key characteristic of this circuit. And especially in real life, we've seen it with the likes of Formula 1, we've seen it in the likes of the ELMS as well. It can be a very processional race, and it's really all about the car indeed.
It could change now. I think Ethan is going to try and go for a move on Byraxa. He's going to try you, and he's not going to go for it. He got our hopes up, Evil, but unfortunately he decided to back off for the move, and he may try pretty soon as well. So, Ethan. But yeah,
be a lot closer.
Yeah, I agree.
Jess, I think so. He gets a good exit here. Is really the only opportunity. He's done it around the outside of turn 4 last night. He did it in the practice session as well, but Byrax is not a silly puppy dog. He knows what he's doing. Ethan knows what he's doing as well. These two should be definitely challenging each other. But it looks to me that Ethan, he's just trying to line him up. He's just trying to pressurize him right now. That is what he needs to be doing. And he just comes in the pit lane. Meanwhile, down there in 14th, and Fogarty has retired from the session as well. So an abysmal start then of the season for your most experienced driver. And it shows, Jess, that even if you've got the experience, you haven't got the pure, you're not invulnerable for mistakes, and unfortunately for him, he is out of the race. Even meanwhile, you can see still trying to find that way through, level the brakes, and you can see rear end stepping out into turn 10. That's an often characteristic of the Mercedes. It's not planted on the brake compared to that Lamborghini.
Yeah, exactly, and it just goes to show, Evil, that you don't count your chickens before you're hatched, really, and you can't become complacent. People might think, oh yeah, I'm the most experienced driver, I expect win after win after win, but even the most experienced drivers will have to practice as much as they can, because if they don't, the new drivers that come up there, they're going to take advantage of this, and they're only going to get better and better and better, and the other drivers that think are going to do well might get worse and worse and worse. But now, Jazzman, he's in the pits then, lap 11, which is where he pitted at the moment, a bit earlier than what most of the guys are going to be pitting on, but I'm guessing he wants a bit more of an advantage to come into the rest of the race. Meanwhile, we've got Wolf, who's not having a good time at the moment, down in 12th place, but he's fighting for Skull's position in 11th place. I mean, point is point at the end of the day, and this is what Wolf has got to do. This could be another overtake. This could be a little bit of overtake.
Mercedes versus United, Jess, and this should be easy. Right around the outside, you can see Wolf, Skull went defending very early. Skull should have the inside line of that. Ginetta very late on the brakes. You see him, look at him. Sliver up the inside. Wolf's not going to go around the outside there. Ending contact, my friend, if you're not brave. Whoa, it's going to be ending contact. It is going to end in contact. Skull almost forced off the circuit there as Wolf. That there is a little lag bubble, of course, on this game. And I don't think Skull's going to be best pleased of that, but I think that was just on the edge of fairness. Wolf getting frustrated. He's down there in 11th position. He's not having any luck so far at the beginning of this season. He did last season, and Skull has just crashed into the wall as well. He, again, that rear end not strong in that car, and his car is now slightly damaged as well. So that's what he'll be doing, but Wolf gets the better of poor old Skull and the shed. Now, we might have to do a little bit of a rebuild on that one later on and go back to the drawing boards, but let's see. We don't know how much damage that would have given him. We just saw the rear end stepping out and straight into the wall. Meanwhile, Ethan's still trying to get on the back of the car ahead. He's 5 turns down, so won't be seeing any overtake right now. Jazzman in 10th. He is about 4 seconds behind likes of Duffy. He's miles ahead of everyone else as Vetro comes in the pit lane from 9th position, and he should drop down probably around about that gap between Skull, Leonardo and Andy, as there is, I think, Essa getting out of the way as well. So he's already a lap down. So the Ginettas already, Jess, really starting to struggle on this circuit.
Yeah, not really that surprised. The Ginettas are not really built for this circuit, really, where the likes of Lambo are really fully planted to the circuit and are used to it right now. Another person in the pit stops, then we got Vetro, who's coming out of the pit lane. He might have a bit of traffic behind him right now, as we got a car of Leonardo, who has just come out of the pit lane. Looks like, coming to the start finish straight, sorry. And there he goes. He goes ahead of Vetro, and there's a few people that pitted already, a few people that haven't. There's just a few people not looking to make moves at the moment because they just don't want to get caught up in anything. I mean, it's the same with Gaza and obviously Big Kid Daddy, and obviously the new Tier 1 driver who got promoted to Tier 2 as well. So, you know, I mean, I find it hard to overtake on this game on Project Cars 2. I think these drivers they got to wait a long while, and I think for most of these guys it's all up to the setup and the strategy, I think, as we're looking on Picano, who is going to try and challenge for the lead. Yeah, he is getting slipstream, so he's going to go into turn 1. And this is really going to help him get the better exit speeds and close up to the leader, which he does. And this could be his chance, Evil.
Yeah, he just seems to be, he gets about 2-3 turns here. He just drops back. You see that he's a lot quicker through turn 1. You can see that on the brakes as well. That's his real only grit. He needs to get a mega exit out of the last corner if he wants to come through. He looks comfortable on the brakes. However, he can be comfortable on the brakes, that's one thing, but then you've got to be able to just go for out the inside. Tinnis in the pit, and he's covering off Jazzman meanwhile. So I'll cut to that action right now, and it seems Jazzman has got ahead of Tinnis just about. We'll just cut to it there, and you can see Jazzman up the road there. So that is the switch between those two. But back to Papano, like I was saying, he's comfortable on the brakes, but through these fast sections, Jess, he just cannot get the car close enough. You can see the rear end wanting to swap ends on him, and the Lamborghini, it's a good car. However, its only issue is it cannot follow as close as you could expect. You can see he's just there, sitting there, but he just can't get past him. And it's that situation. It's almost like it's like dirty air, of course, not a big thing in these GT cars. However, when you're stuck, you're just stuck, and you haven't got enough pace. He's 44.2 compared to he's a second quicker. He needs to get past, and he needs to get past this lap. He gets a good exit again. He's about 4 tenths. If he gets a nice slipstream this time around, he might just have the look up the inside. Here we go then. So, nice long toe down the straight, and you can see now he starts closing. Jasco knows about it. We got Andy just up the road there, but he's not close enough to make any move into turn 1 because it looks again like Jasco has a lot more top speed compared to him.
Yeah, well, I think so as well, and it's like that with the F1 cars as well, where you follow too close to a car, you just can't get past, maybe to the dirty air as well, and we've seen that with Ethan and obviously Boy Raxer as well. As Boy Raxer, he's up into P3 for now due to the fact that quite a few people has pitted. Ethan is one of those drivers who is going for the pit stop right now, his first pit stop. Papano's getting closer and closer. I mean, he just found some time on that first sector then. I wonder if he's going to do the same going up the hill then into that little kink. It's not easy. So,
he always made a mistake. There's an opportunity for him. And now alongside, here comes Papano up the inside. Jasco, that's what he was looking for. A small mistake. And Papano bites it like a cherry and straight through then into the lead. And poor old Jasco, one mistake, one twitch on the curb. That's all Papano needed to say. Thank you very much, Sonny Jim. I'm coming through. And now Jasco, if I was him, would come straight in that pit lane, try and get some fresh air, and try and push past again, because it's around that area you'll need to come in. And crucially, Papano now has got a little bit of traffic. So now you've got to wonder, Jess, who's going to come through first and come in?
Yeah, well, I mean, I did see Papano. I wasn't sure if it was a few laps ago or this lap. He's got a penalty, so at the moment, if it stays as it is, Jasco will still be winning. So all Jasco needs to do is not make too many mistakes and keep on top of Papano, and then he should be fine. Now, we do have Andy being lapped already by the two leaders, so already a lap down, but again, it's his first outing in the Tier 1 League. He's getting used to it right now, and he could learn a lot from these leading bunch to see the way they drive as well. So he'll probably make the most of it right now in the first few races.
Indeed, a critical and crucial mistake. The last thing he wanted to make one mistake, and that was that mistake. And now, hopefully, he can try and readjust himself, refocus as well, because of course, we'll look at the penalties. And 3 seconds for Papano, 30 seconds for Tafito. That is, of course, for, I believe, must be for ignoring blue flag. Not blue flags, it must be ignoring a penalty of some description. There's no real other way you'd get that big of a penalty. Meanwhile, Rotary there down in 8th position. And rather struggling. And there he goes down, exactly on cue. 360 degrees and almost collects his teammate there. And he's in a really bad place there. And the Rotary has rotated through 360 degrees, and that is not what he wanted to do, and he's going to be frustrated with that one.
Yeah, definitely, and as the first few laps on those new tyres, the tyres are cold. You have to warm them up quite quickly, and I'm just guessing he just wasn't used to it at that moment, and it is the track temperature. It's not that hot. That is probably what they need to do, and again, the conditions are different, lobby after lobby, so I'm guessing it's a different situation, and when he practiced last night, we'll have to wait and see. Right now, we've got Skull right behind him, so you can see that a few people are struggling, and Skull almost goes off the circuit a little bit there. and a few people exceeding the track limits there. I mean, they have been told to not corner cut too much, because otherwise the game will give them penalties. Here comes Skull then on Gaza. Gaza in 9th place right now. Can Skull, oh, he could try for a move around the inside, but thinks better of it at the time being. I think Gaza responded quite quickly. Good reaction times from Gaza, and that is why he's in 9th place for now. And Essa is still in the pit lane, so that's his second stop. So he's evil. He's not having the best of times right now. This race has just gone bad to worse from him.
Yeah, he seems to be struggling with whatever issue he's got then. So was his teammate not having the same types of issue, though it was very close to the curves there. Like Ethan, too much commitment through turn 1. Rear end snipped out of him, and that's the first time I've seen him do that for quite some time as well. So unfortunately for him, a small mistake, one small mistake, is all the cherry took for him to go. He's looping right because he's Skull's rear end also very loose as well. So it seems the driver's struggling. And what this has meant right now is Wolf is in 8th position, who was struggling earlier on at that poor qualifying, up to 8th. And like I say, almost again losing that rear end. Seems the rear's very loose. We have Victro. He's down there in the Ferrari. He's in 13th. He's definitely seems to be struggling in that car. For whatever reason, doesn't seem to get the car comfortable, can't get it to the pace he wants it. The lap times he's setting 45.9. He's by far the slowest driver, apart from Andy, who of course came in the pit lane, I believe, quite recently, and he's setting 46. So Andy again also struggling as well as Jasko is in the pit lane from 2nd position. And he's going to try to do the undercut on lap 17, just about midway through this race, give or take, Jess. So far, we've also got Big Kid Daddy in as well. That's around about where we expected him to come through, and that will release the likes of Duffito, Jazzman, and Tinus, of course, back up, we believe, to the lead of this race. Actually, let me curious, where is Jazzman going to come out? There he is, there in the background. Where is Jazzman? He's behind him, of course, and that is crucial for him. But Jazzman is going to come in at a lot of pace, setting 44.9s right now for him, the man who is often critiqued as being the most consistent driver in AOR, and he is hoping to try and now catch up and then attempt to pass. And like I said earlier, Jess, catching is one thing, passing is a whole different kettle of fish. Like we've only seen one real on-circuit overtake, and that was by mistake in itself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jazzman, if he wants to go for the move, I think he could try and do it. There was just a lot of people today that were just so close to making it, but they're just playing it safe for now. But I'm guessing it is the first race of the season. If it was the last race of the season, they'll probably be a bit carry a bit more risk. Here we go. Scold on Ethan then. Ethan seems to be struggling quite a lot here, I think, Evil. I mean, he's just not liking the car right now because he's losing so much time going into that chicane.
But Skull's now behind the Ethan again, so those two have switched around very recently. I think that must have been down the main straight. It's the only place I can imagine, because we know how slow the Ginecta is in a straight line. That car should be able to do it, but you can see on board with Skull, you can see, look at the rear end of, oh well, never mind, like I say, rear end of cars, because Skull immediately loses the rear end of his car. When I was about to say the rear end of Evan's car wasn't stable, well, never mind, because the rear end of Skull's car is less stable. Meanwhile, Jazzman is now in P2 right now. I'm wondering, Jasko's dropped behind him. Yeah, Jasko's behind him now then, so we're also really looking at that. Jazzman is now taken 2nd. It might even be challenging for the lead, you know, down to turn number 1. Because here comes out the pit lane, he's gone cold time. Oh! Jazzman has a little look around the outside, can't do it there. And now the top 3 all of a sudden are all together. Again, a 44.8 for him. Jasko right up the rear bumper, he's looking left, he's right, he won't do it there. He'll lose the rear end, he's getting too close to the rear, and he has just to back off there ever so slightly.
Yeah, definitely. My oh my, I mean, Papano was hoping for that undercut, that overcut, and somehow it worked quite well for him. And we got the likes of Jazzman and Jazz as well, really starting to hit home at the moment. Jazzman doing an absolutely brilliant job at the moment, up in 2nd place. Obviously, Papano and Jazzman got those time penalties, but it does not matter. These guys want to win on track, and they really want to go for it. as obviously Jazzman, he won the first race of the season last season. So, you know, whoever wins the first race, they're going to carry that momentum on. They're going to be leading the championship. They got a point to prove, and they could show the rest of the drivers that they are a force. Now, Papano is not used to that, and neither is Jasko. So, probably some of the more experienced drivers may not be used to these two drivers leading the way. So, maybe some of the other guys that may expect them to win, like Boy Rax, for example, he's only down in 5th. So, you know, just goes to show anything can happen, and it changes season after season. Maybe Boy Rax's car might not suit to this chat, and that's why he's not challenging for the lead right this second.
Yeah, indeed. Remember, though, technically Jazzman is leading this race, or is he actually? Because he's also got a penalty. We'll have a look. And at 1 second there for him. So
no, Jasko's leading.
Yeah, so Jasko will be leading this race just about on the class of penalty. Jasko does not and cannot afford to get a penalty right now. So we've now got a situation where the lead 2 drivers have penalties. The car in 3rd, who is overtaken by the top 2, can still win this race. However, now he has to just stay with them. And the question is now, can you stay with them with the dirty air? And that's always going to be the question. Meanwhile, further down, we have Ethan, who is now behind Big Kid Daddy. And again, behind his less experience. But to be fair, more the driver who's won more races than him is Wolf, who won 2 races last season. And you've got to wonder with Wolf as well. The prodigator Ethan outscoring and outdoing the senior driver. And that's got to be a little bit upsetting right now for Ethan.
Yeah, I mean, he's just not liking things at the moment, but I'm guessing that you get things like that. I mean, Wolfman, he's trying his best. He's mounted a good comeback, actually. Despite the fact that he was 12th earlier, he might not pit, though. He's probably going to pit soon, but, you know, he's probably liking the fact that he's 6th place at the moment. I think he is 6th. I'm still getting confused with the VSRs at the moment. That's the annoying thing about the 3 letters, because obviously they both start with the word VSR, as Ethan is right on the back then of Big Kid Daddy in 8th place. He wants to gain some positions back in this race, making up for lost time. I mean, we've seen Ethan spin quite a lot in this track in races, like we've seen in the endurance races. He was running in the podium positions, and then he lost it quite a bit, which compromised that. So it may be that he doesn't like this track, but here we go. Ethan, he's putting the hammer down. It is hammer time for Ethan, as I would like to call it. He's looking quite good. He's going to get to the left-hand side of the track, the inside line. Then can Big Kid Daddy hold on to Ethan? And he's going to try to. It's going to be a little bit of pressure for both of them, as Ethan spins again. He's just not liking that corner.
300, 180 degrees, and whatever reason, he just has no grip in there, and this is going from bad to worse.
It's the same corner as earlier. It's the same corner as earlier.
Same corner, same way as well, and whatever is going on, that car has got no balance, it's got no pace. It's got pace, to be fair, he's setting 44 rates, but he just cannot, for whatever reason, keep it on the island, and that is crucial. He's got no grip out there, and it's unfortunate for him. He's now down there in 10th position. The next car to him is Vecto in 12th. He's getting beaten by Dafito right now in 11th. He's also been struggling. But what on earth is going on with Ethan right now? I mean, I'm not sure. Is the mentality a little bit off? Is it? Oh, we got a car off in the background. There we got Jazzman.
Oh,
it's Jazzman off. He got on the curb. He got on the grass. And he's damaged the car as well. I just saw it there. And Jazzman darting off. And that's going to be to the pit lane, I imagine.
Yep, I think he's lost a bit of concentration now. I mean, or it might have been that he was going to go into the pits. I think he's one of those drivers that didn't go into the pit soon enough. And he just, I think, brushed the wall against the pit lane again. So he's probably got more damage. So the driver who has proven that consistency is key, he's not doing very well in terms of damage. But that's going to allow probably a few upsets in this race, Evil. The ones you may not expect, to get some good points in this race. Like Boy Rax is back in this, and obviously Wolfman is back in this as well, and obviously Gaza and Tennis. Here he goes.
Boy Rax around the outside of Tennis, so a small mistake there from Tennis. Boy Rax, that should be easy to go around the outside, but Tennis will keep the inside line, then so it'll be down. It'll be a drag race down to turn number 3, and I think just about got it then. So Tinus, a small mistake there. I just noticed it for turn 1. Looked like 2 cars are closing very dramatically. And definitely it is too close right there. Because Tinus now under pressure and overtaken there by Boyraxa. And Boyraxa now will have to try and pull away. Now that's a good thing, of course, in the Mercedes, is can he pull away? And Tinus, very small mistakes again. The Lamborghini, I said earlier, Jess, the Lamborghini, it can go for turn 1. So far we've only seen a Mercedes go. But Tinus showing that no one is impervious.
Yep, it is not safe for anyone. You don't have to be in the Mert to spin. That people in the Lambo can spin as well. I think Ethan has got a lot of catching up to do, but Vetro down in 11th place. He's the next car catching up to Ethan, and even though he's 11 or 12 seconds down the road, he's got Leonardo catching up quite a bit to him as well. Vetro, don't forget, Vetro joined this tier quite late, as obviously, as we said earlier on, and the guy that was meant to be in tier 1 wasn't quite up to the pace, and Vetro really proved to the coordinators in practice that he did deserve to be there in tier 1. He was looking good in practice, but at the moment just not finding enough grip in the car. As Jazzman, unfortunately, he's now down in 13th place, so he must have got a lot of damage through there, which has costed his run massively.
Indeed, I'm reporting, Jess, your mic is spiking quite a little bit as well for some reason. But,
Oh, on the stream?
Yes. But Tinus, meanwhile, having a little look at the inside of Boyraxa, but still can't do it there. And we're looking forward to see there's not really an opportunity to overtake her. And right now, he's just stuck behind him again. He made that mistake a lap or two ago. And, well, the only opportunity is, where are you going to go and pass last season's championship winner? Whilst Gaza down there languishing in 6th, Boyraxa now in 3rd. We have a real season on our hands as well. And I don't think Tinus is going to be coming through anytime soon unless he gets a mega exit through one of these corners. The Lamborghini, it's just not got the legs. It hasn't got the speed to try and run up the inside. He can try his best. He's going to hit him. He is going to hit him. Almost hit him. No, he didn't hit him. Very late on the brakes there. And I almost said I was about to say he's good on the brakes. That's a little bit too close for comfort there. Tinus, and he almost wiped Boyraxa's rear end off the universe. Meanwhile, Gaz has gone off the road as well in the other car. Slightly deep there. But Tinus, he tried that on the brakes then. He thought about it. It did not work.
Hopefully, the mic is fine now on the stream. I will check that. It might just be on Evil's end. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it's all fixed now. Fingers crossed, and yeah, I'm gonna try and do my best to see how long it lasted for a little bit. So I'll let you take this for a little bit whilst I try and figure out why this was the problem.
Alright, well, meanwhile, Leonardo stuck behind Vetro. That is the battle for 12th and 11th position right now. We've got Tinus still battling there, but only 2 battles going on this circuit. Well, right now we're at 23 of 35, and we'll go through your official rundown then of the order. We have Papana leading his first real Grand Prix in such a long time. Struggled last season. He's ahead of Jasko in 2nd. Boyraxa in 3rd, then he's ahead of Tinus, who was just almost rear-ended him a few moments ago. Behind them we've got VSR Met Wolfman ahead of Gaza in 6th position. Big Kid Daddy ahead of Skull, who's doing a fantastic job in the Ginetta right now. He's gyroscoping around the circuit and very much sliding it through every corner. He's ahead of Duffito, ahead of Ethan as well, who had those few spins earlier on. We have Vecto in 11th, Leonardo in 12th, Andy in 13th, Essa in 14th, and Jazzman out of the race. Yeah. And meanwhile, Boyraxa and Tinus still side by side there, and they're almost going to come together. They do come together. And Tinus trying around the outside then, and that's great. That's the same place Jazzman went off. Tinus managed to go around the outside. Good move for him. And manages to get it free cleaned about. But now, look behind, because Tinus should have that massive run down the straight.
Yeah, well, I think so. We could see another overtake, Evil, pretty soon. So, watch out. I mean, this is going to be very, very spicy if this works. I mean, the 2 teammates really starting to bring it home. Actually, no, they're not 2 teammates. We've got, obviously, Tinus and Gather teammates. But It looks the same, obviously, because they're in similar cars, but Tinner's looking very good. He's bouncing back a little bit. He's in third, but Evil, the top two, are just running away with it. They're just, I think, the only two people that got involved in no collisions whatsoever. Everybody else seems to be struggling, whereas the others, they are, the top two are fine, whereas the others are just having some sort of issues, but some of them are coming back, like PSR Wolfman, who's doing a brilliant job to come back from his misfortunes, and obviously Gaza as well. So yeah, we haven't got long to the end. We got 10 laps till the end. Anything can happen, Evil, and we could see a lot of these drivers want to finish what they started. They don't want to be where they were before.
Yeah, nice of Ethan. He wants to get ahead of Dofito very soon. Especially the VSR name, of course. They want to go for the championship right now. They are not living up to already the first hopes of doing well. 46 fours for Ethan right now. He is going a lot quicker than, 45 sevens for Ethan. He's going a lot quicker than Defito, who's setting 46 fours. Ahead of them, Skold of 47.2 that last lap. So he's struggling in that gyroscopic, gyrosthetic car of the Ginetta, and definitely not having the best days for Skold. Meanwhile, Defito manning those curves, manning that offense. Leonardo, meanwhile, behind Vector. That's battle for 12th and 11th. Flow. We believe that should be Leonardo through running, because Vector does have a penalty as well.
Yeah, I nearly headed echo there. Sorry about that, I was checking the chat. But anyway, Duff looking quite good at the moment in 9th place, obviously due to those penalties that other people has got, and looking good for his first Tier 1 race. I mean, he doesn't need to be up there in the top 6 as of yet. I mean, it takes time for Duffy to find some time, but he's doing really well in the 93 car. Ethan almost making the same mistakes he did before, but he just saved it just in time. I mean, Ethan nearly gave me a heart attack, Ethan. Oh my god, I mean, he's just not having it, but I mean, he's just got to focus for the end of this race. Don't forget, some of these guys may have to pit again if their tyres are not up to it. There may be a few people that are on the cusp of running out of fuel, so we're going to watch out for the fuel tanks. Most of these guys should be alright. There may be a few people that will be underestimating it just a little bit. And
yeah.
So yeah.
Noticing it, Jess, as might be seeing Defito looking up at him. He's actually running no ABS right now in this race, and that is very peculiar. You don't normally. Yeah, he's running no ABS. You can see there on board with him. You can see his ABS.
Oh,
it's
that's
all
what it is.
Ethan's having a look up the inside. Then you should have a little dive up the inside, I reckon. And I think as long as he doesn't turn, he should have the inside, because Defito, remember, he'll have a cut back, and this will be brave. Ethan's really put himself in a vulnerable position right now. Let's see, he'll end in contact if he's not careful. Defito just able to hold that outside line. Ethan will have a little nip up the inside, but can't do it right now. And he's getting a little bit angsty right now. I reckon he wants to get this position as soon as he can. And right now, he cannot do it. He's stuck behind him. He can't get through. Ethan right there for the last corner and almost loses the rear end yet again there. And a penalty for him will be certainly coming for that off circuit as well. But right now, only battle on the circuit indeed is between these three drivers.
Yeah, definitely, and we just had a word from Mr. Jazzman in the chat, and unfortunately his wheel kicked him out of the game. It wasn't a retirement, his wheel kicked him out of the game, so he had a wheel disconnection moment, and unfortunately that costed his chance of getting any sort of points in this race. That happened to me a few times and on other games as well, where my wheel decided, no thank you, I want to disconnect randomly. And that ended my race. So unfortunate for Jazzman to end that way, but sometimes that is kind of like engine reliability in real life, in a way. Sometimes your technology is not the best, but Defito and obviously Ethan are looking quite good at the moment. These three are running in tandem. Skold is doing really well actually in 8th. I mean, this is not his best result, but at the moment he's looking impressive fighting against these guys. I mean, he probably wasn't expecting to finish that high at the moment, as this could be very feisty towards the end. It is crunch time for these drivers, as we've got Defito almost taking a risk. Ethan going for the inside, as Defito has gone wide. Yep, there goes Ethan then.
He went too deep, Jazz. I think he had a little look at Skull, tried to go up the inside of him, locked his brakes up there. We saw him skating there, and that's just allowed Ethan to go straight up the inside. So that really just shows you that experience there from Ethan. As Vito almost hits the rear end of him as well. Ethan will be very hopeful that he can now pull away and then try and pass his long-time rival. You know, these two have had issues before. They've had a history. They've had excitement. Scold, who won 2 races a long time ago in the wet at the likes of Sugo. He's only ever won in the wet. Remember, that car very good on the brakes. You can see how quick he pulls away in turn 1 compared to Ethan. That's just how light that car is. He can just get the grip and get the pace. As Duffito, meanwhile, has just made a mistake behind him. That's why he's dropped back so suddenly. Behind them, we've got Leonardo still trying to catch up to Vector, but no way through there is now. Ethan is going to be all over the back of his long-time rival, his long-time friend, and long-time enemy as well. It's Scott. He's like a bromance between these two. And where will it end, Jess? We reckon will it end in tears of joy or something of a beautiful overtake?
I don't know what to say with that one. I mean, I've seen them both in parties before. Some of the times they work out really well, and some of the times they are best of enemies. So I don't know what's going to happen, but due to the fact that this is a race, Evil, I mean, these two will take it seriously and try to leave enough space as they possibly can.
Skull's got to go to the inside because if it's coming, look, he knows the inside line. He throws up the inside then on the brakes. Can he get the inside line? Yes, he can. Skull now comes back through. Good exit there. Ethan had a look up the inside. Now Skull should be able to snap one up the inside, but Ethan holds the outside line. Skull the long way round. Left on the outside is Skull. Right on the inside is Ethan.
Brilliant.
And looks like Ethan gets the inside line, but it's not over yet because no, look at Skull. He's back on the brakes. We know he's good on the brakes. He's got a nippy car, but Ethan, he had to make that move. He had to make it stick. And now, though, it's a question, can he run away down that straight? Because look at Skull. He might have a look up the inside again because we know how quick that Ginetta is on the brakes. Let's see if he can do anything.
Ethan, what a move. Bravo. I mean, he just goes to show never give up. I mean, I know Ethan's had a lot of spins in his past, but he wanted to try and go for risky moves like that, but this time it paid off for him. So fair play. You don't want to play it safe too much, because otherwise you may have a risk of losing more positions. And Skull is dropping back from Ethan quite a bit here. So Ethan must be pulling away in straight line speed. Don't forget, the Merc is more powerful straight line speed compared to Skull's car. So that's what you would expect, but you would expect the Merc to do a lot better here. We'll just have to keep an eye out what's going on now. Gap between first and second, 3.5. Now, Papano, I can't remember what penalty he's got for Jasko. I think he's all right. I think he'll still... Oh, quite close, actually. 3.9. So all Jasko needs to do is be 9... He's got to find 9 tenths per second between now and the end of the race to win. If it stays like this, Papano will just about win by 9 tenths per second. So I wonder if someone will tell him, oh, look at Skull. Skull's going to try and go for the left-hand side, but he thinks better of it at the moment. I mean, this is far from over from these two. These two are going to fight pretty much until the end of this race. I mean, they're going head to toe at the moment here. And who said you can't overtake in Spain? These two are saying you can overtake in Spain, and they're going to prove us wrong, which they are doing at the moment. I think these are the most overtakes we have seen all race long. Meanwhile, Gaza is about, I think, around about 1 second behind Wolfman, who's in 5th place. I can't remember if Wolfman has to pit or not.
No, they've all pitted, Jazz.
Okay, so that is a legitimate position for Wolf, and it's kind of like the two VSR boys are kind of switched positions. Ethan was running in 6th place before those few spins, whereas Wolfman was in 11th, 12th, but now Wolfman is in 5th place. I mean, that is a comeback, if I do say so myself, Evil. He's doing brilliantly.
Yeah, he's trying his best right now, and looks to me like Skull. He wants to get past Ethan. I think Skull might have a little pot shot of him a little bit, you know, on Ethan. I know Skull's very good at annoying things. I mean, it's a little ditty car anyway. I mean, look at it. It's about, it's like, you could literally, it's about the size of a fly compared to that Mercedes right now, and it's like a little bee in your ear. It's buzz, and Ethan's probably wanting to squat it in a minute if he's not too careful. He murdered a fly earlier on, painfully, with his racing gloves. So, I'm not sure if it's still on his glove. I hope it's not, but he's got another little fly behind him, and I think, you know, Skull's going to have a look up the inside. If he's going to have to cover that inside, I know. Because Skull, we know how late on the brakes he can go, and I think he's close enough to have a dive if he's not careful. He's not yet, though, because just see, look at the exit speed he'll get. The Ginetta, very quick in this race. Gazza, meanwhile, have a look at him. He's continuing to close up on Wolf. We've got, that is Andy in the other Shed Racing team. Of course, not related to Shed Racing. It's the Shed Racing team, if I'm not too mistaken. That is the every he's racing. So, Gazza, Wolf, there it is, the battle for 5th and 6th. Behind them there we've got Scold and Ethan. That is battle for the others. You can just see him in the background there as well. In between them is Big Kid Daddy, who's doing a very good job in 7th position, might I add. Yeah,
great job for Big Kid Daddy. You probably won't be expecting him to be this higher up, but he's the one, as well as Gazza and Boy Ratzer, who hasn't got any penalties.
Oh, he spun again nearly, or he just caught it. I thought
that
for
was
a second
earlier. That was a few laps
end.
ago as well. Like I was almost seeing going into a spin, and he just lost it. Vetro in the pits.
Damage. He's got damage.
Yeah, I see his damage. I see his damage. That is awful damage from Vetro. Again, he was another driver that was in the top 10, but unfortunately he might lose it due to that mistake, and he's going to be in the pits for quite a while. Whereas we're already on lap 31 as Skull. I mean, this could be a drag race in a line if these two keep this up.
Yeah, well, we know the Mercedes is obviously going to win that battle. Jess, we know the inferior engine is in that Ginetta. It is building a golden shed. I mean, old Jimmers might be happy of it because it is a shed boy. But right now, it's being beaten by the big shed boy. And whoa.
Scold. Careful. You know, I mean, he just lost a bit there on the curb, and that's gained Ethan a bit of momentum. And if he didn't lose it, Evil, he would have tried and gone for the move. But that just goes to show that, you know, you've got to be careful sometimes.
Yep, Skull trying every little trick in the book. He wants to get past him. It's going to be difficult to pass him, because you know Ethan's very good. Skull really throwing that car around the circuit. He can throw a car around the circuit on a pad. Right, he is the highest pad driver in this little group. And right now, 9th position for him. He's stuck behind Ethan right now. He's not going to get through anytime soon. Meanwhile, up the road, that is Victory getting out of the way. Yeah, he's come out the pit there, and he's done the best job he can do right now. Is just get out of the way and just try and not hold these drivers up. And he's done a beautiful job. What makes go with Victory? You just see those two just ahead of them right now. Victory down there in top position. He's got Andy behind him by 3 seconds. Ahead behind them is this gaggle of 2 cars, and behind them is Duffy, who is setting 46.1, so he's taking about the same pace out of them there. So if these guys keep battling, Duffy could start coming back through into this little battle as well. So it's not over yet. Ethan selling that 46.1s compared to Skull, who is selling those 46.0s, so taking about 10th per second out of it. But there's no way to come through right now. We know Skull, in fact, when we say there's no way to come through, unless Skull does what Ethan does, is cover him up the inside, because Ethan, I think, he was going up the inside nonetheless. Skull should have really just covered that inside line, gave him a sliver of hope. And when you're a racing driver, you don't give anyone a sliver, because we know what Danny Ricciardo likes to say, if there's a gap, you go for it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, for poor old Skull, there was a gap, and Ethan did go for it. And I don't think there's going to be any opportunity to come through anytime soon for Skull right now.
No, I don't think so. As Julian Palmer says, all the time you've got to lead the space. And these two are trying to do that. No, that was Julian Palmer. I swear that was Julian Palmer.
No, that was Alonso. I'm gonna amend you on that one. That was Fernando Alonso.
No, Fernando Alonso said it, not you, Julian Palmer. Oh my God, I was thinking of another quote where you got to be alert on the street circuit. Yes. Oh my God, why was I thinking that? I don't know why. It's coming up to the end of the race. That's probably why. But yeah, this is not. It's been all right race, but it hasn't been the best races to start the season. But sometimes you do get races like that, and once this race is out of the way, they can focus on the next race. Meanwhile, Gazza keeping it clean. I mean, if it stays as it is, he's chasing Wolf, and also Big Kid Daddy is right behind Gazza as well. We've got Andy. He's 13th place. He's a lap down, but he's still going. With fair play to them, and so is Essa Racing as well. I mean, if I was them, I would have retired right now, but you know,
Skull's got to look up the inside compared to Ethan Jess there. I thought for a second he had a little look. Good exit through turn 2 into 3. And oh, we've got a car right in the way there.
That's Andy.
And that is Andy.
And
there goes Scold right around. And he hit him there. And I'm not sure what Andy was doing there. He parked it right in the middle of the road.
Oh my God. That was
and almost
again.
then runs into him again. And poor old Scold, who was trying to pass Ethan, has now been rather. He's got damage on the front right there. And that has ruined any chance of that. And I'm not sure what Andy did there. He should have really tried to get himself out of the way there. Unfortunately, he couldn't. Meanwhile, Big Kid Daddy suddenly closing right up on this battle there because Gaza and Wolf very all of a sudden making a mistake. I think Wolf made a mistake somewhere because Gaza's all over his rear end right now, and so is Big Kid Daddy.
My oh my, can these guys just stop right now? I mean, there wasn't many battles happening at the start of the race. Now there's loads of battles. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, it looked like most of these guys were waiting to the end, but don't forget, some of these guys, they're running on less fuel right now. They can push a bit more, but I'm a bit worried about Wolf's fuel. 3.9.
He's not got a lot. He's Wolf's in trouble. Like he's got trouble. He's low fuel. He's low fuel. He knows it. He knows it. Here comes Gaz around the outside.
Oh!
They bang. They bang. They touch. Through then comes Big Kid Daddy through. He tries around the outside. They almost touch. They almost do touch. Wheel to wheel stuff. And then Gaza has to drop back position. Wolf there. Argy-bargy for him. He's shaving fuel. He's desperate. He needs to last another lap. I don't think he's going to make it.
It's going to be like season 14, the first race where Jazz ran or someone, who ran out of fuel? Tinnis
who ran out of fuel last thing. And there on the inside there's contact.
No.
And round there goes Big Kid Daddy inside and sends spinning. Wolf is causing carnage in this race because he's trying to save the fuel. He hasn't got enough fuel. I don't think he's going to make it.
No, I don't. I don't know how much fuel you get per lap, and 2.5.
He's short shifting. He's doing anything he can. He's short shifting through the gears. He's in trouble. He's got 2 litres. He used about 1.5 litres a lap. This is going to be awfully close. He's going to lift in coast. Gaz is going to come at the inside of him there. He's steamrolling him in a minute. He has to cover it. And look at this. Is now round the outside. Big Kid Daddy's trying round the outside. He can't do anything. This is incredible right now. 1, 2, 3 cars all battling together. We've got issues for Wolf. We've got Gaza a try. We've got Big Kid Daddy in trouble. And Wolf, I think, now is sitting duck down the straight. He's got 1.8 litres. He's going to have to come in. He has to come in. He's not got enough fuel. He has to come in the pit lane. He's not going to come in. He's going to risk it. He'll run out of fuel, I feel.
Oh, he's got to
Here we go, then. It's going to be Gaza coming through. It was going to be Big Kid Daddy coming through as well. Wolf's got not enough fuel. He'll run out of fuel. It's the last thing he needed, and it's the last thing he wanted. And I imagine here comes Veteran now trying to come up the inside. He's got enough fuel. He's going to run out, I think, about midway through this lap.
Yeah, I think so. I am absolutely... It just happened again. What is going on with these first races? I mean, we've seen... I don't think it was Tinnis that ran out of fuel, because he came second that race. So I'm sure it was Jazzman or someone. No, it wasn't... I don't know. I can't remember, but there was someone that ran out of fuel. And, I mean, it's just... I think a few people are not used to maybe the cars, maybe. I am scared he's definitely going to run out of fuel. I mean, he's going to do all he can. He's going to lose quite a few positions due to it. I mean...
He needs to lift in coast. He's having a short shift. If I was Dylan right now, I would just let him go through. Because he knows right now he is going to let Vetro through. So he knows he's not got enough fuel to run out of fuel. And now what he needs to do, he'll have to lift in coast for the rest of this lap. And he's going to run out. There's no reason. He's got 0.4. Look, he's lifting, he's coasting.
I can't
he's
see.
Not got the fuel. He's not got the fuel. He's lifting and coasting right now.
He's run out of fuel. He's run out of fuel.
He's not run out of fuel yet. Here we go. Round the outside, Defito trying on Ethan there. Round the outside, Defito on Ethan there. Round the outside. Behind him there, Wolf in trouble. He's not going to make the end. He's going to pull off on the outside. He's got 0 litres in the tank. He's lifting and coasting as best he can. He's not got the fuel. Papano, meanwhile, has won this race. Whilst we're looking at this one there by 7/10 of a second. Wolf's run out of fuel, I think, somewhere around about the mid-sector there. Look, he's limping, he's coasting, he's not got enough fuel. Here we go then. Defito, can he get Ethan? I don't think he can. Through the last corner, Ethan in 7th. Defito in 8th. Wolf's going to run out of fuel. Can he make it to the end, I'm wondering? He's going to have to lift and coast basically around this entire lap right now. He's run out of fuel. There we go. He's out of fuel. Can he coast to the line is the question. I don't think he can.
Oh, God. That was 2 cars that almost punted him. He's slowing down.
Can he get to the line?
Can
I
he
don't
do
think
it?
he is.
I don't think
This
he
is going to
would.
be cruel. Can he get to the line? He's got 11 seconds. He'll DNF. He's not going to make it. Can he make it to the line?
6,
He's got a few
5,
inches. He's got
4.
6 seconds. Can he make it? Yes, he can make it to the line.
That was close. Last time we didn't see people make it through the line, but this time we did. Oh my God, that was absolutely tense. Wolf, do not do this again. Oh, you gave me a heart attack. But anyway,
Papano wins.
takes the win from Jasko. Great performance from both of them today. They were just a class of their own. Everybody else was like 24 seconds behind the leader, whereas Jasko was keeping close behind. So we could see, obviously we got a Greek driver, and I don't know what that flag is. But anyway, Tinnis in 3rd. Raxa, pretty good job in 4th. So is Gazza as well in 5th. Big Kid Daddy, good result in 6th. A good comeback from Ethan. He's in 7th place. Leonardo in 8th. Skoll in 9th. Duff, a good result as well. The highest of the new drivers tonight. And then we got Wolf in 11th. Vetro in 12th, who was a lap down. Andy, that's a lap down. And Esther was a lap down. And then our 2 timers are Jazzman and Fogarty. So yeah, that was an anticlimactic end to the race. That always happens in the first race, doesn't it, Evil?
Yeah, drama at the very end. Wolf running out of fuel on the last possible lap. Now, I don't know if we're going to get any interviews here, but so we'll just wait and see if any of them do appear in the interview chat. They feel just that I don't see any right now, so we'll just wait a few moments and maybe see if any of them come in. But alas, Jess, like, what a great race to start this season off.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that I get to cover with it, you Evil. It's been really great. The drivers are pulling their own right now, and we've seen tonight that even the most experienced drivers make mistakes around these types of circuits. So when we go to the next track next week, which is Les Arts in France, which is going to be the first time that the GT3 leagues are going to attempt the same format as what the Filler Leagues has done. So we've got a sprint race first, well, we've got quali first and sprint, and then also we got the feature race after that, which they never tried. It might work, it might not. So next week is going to be our first trial one, as it were, and I think the only other time it's going to run as a sprint race will be on the 29th of April as well. So there's two races events, and obviously we got 2 endurance races as well. So quite a mixture that we've got at the moment, but I'm just seeing if anyone is we're gonna try and get the top 3 anyway, see what happens. But I'll check the messages as well just to see.
Yeah.
I doubt we're gonna get any, but we are gonna try and sort this out for next week. So if because it is a privilege, obviously, if you are in the top 3, you will get interviewed. So yeah, I will let you wrap up the stream, Evil.
Well, congratulations to everyone who did show up, of course. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get any interviews in because no one's so, unfortunately. But until next week, I have been Evil Dragon XXL. Jess has been Jess. Thank you everyone for joining us until next week on my birthday, might I add. So if I'm a little bit out of the blue, you might know why. Until next week, take care and goodbye.